What's up, former US President Grover Cleveland? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are joined by the illustrious Frederick Remington Butterworth, my cat. This past week was my birthday, and as I get older, I realize how shitty I've been over the years. In particular, I've been shitty to my friends who have always been there for me. So, as a special thank you and I'm sorry present, I thought I would make one of my besties a super niche present. Because that's what I specialize in, nicheness. This particular one of my besties is Holland. We have been ride or dies since the 4th grade, and we have seen a lot of things together. A lot of not so good things. Holland's into some pretty weird stuff. I'm talking sanrio, ryakuma, some mechanophobia. And if that all bundled together, if that's your jam, you should definitely go check her out. She is a walking, talking work of art, and I put her links in the description. Also, my links are in the description if you're interested. Now, I started making Ouija boards at the beginning of quarantine in February, months and months ago. And I started off making one for myself. I designed it, I wood burned it, I resined it, and I made the planchette, which I was super proud of. And overall, it took me weeks of work. Weeks. And so this one, I'm not gonna be doing any of that. I'm going to be painting it. And I want this one to be a lot more colorful and happier and a little less sea captain living in a seaside shanty, because that's definitely my vibe. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the design. Okay, so I've completed my design. I take a lot of pleasure in making designs that are completely unintelligible to anybody but me. If there's ever an art historian studying me, I want them to be deeply confused and disturbed. From this, hopefully, I got the outline of what I want to do. I think the most important thing is the words that you use. So I took just a general Ouija board template, like the boring one you can buy at Costco, and I took all of those elements and I sort of transformed them into the aesthetic that I wanted. This one, because it's true Y2k fashion, instead of yes, it says totally. Instead of no, it says as if. And instead of goodbye, it says see ya. And I'm going to use the Bratz font. All right, this is the board that I'm gonna be using to make this Ouija board. I realize it's pretty small. For reference, this is the one that I made myself. It is really big. This is pretty much a standard, what I would call a standard Ouija board size. This is just your average masonite board. I have a ton of these that I cut out of a bigger piece of board, obviously. I'm a big fan of painting on boards. I think that a smooth surface makes all the difference in the world. Not a fan of canvas. Canvas can suck my butt. Both of these boards can be used for anything. Everybody should get some because it is so much cheaper than using canvas, and you don't have to deal with any weird freaking texture. This is a painting that I'm working on matte board. Like I said, it can be used for anything. This is acrylic and this is oil, and that is horrifying. Is he okay? Is he all right? So, see you in a sec. So I'm waiting for this first layer of pink paint to dry. It is grossly patchy, which does not speak volumes to my artistic talent, but also I think it's just a downside of acrylic sucking. Alright, my camera died for a lot of that, so this is what I ended up with for my background. I have my 4 blobs that I'm going to put my symbols in, a pentagram in the background, and some just flower detailing. that took me an embarrassingly long amount of time. All right, it is 12:30 a.m. Now we're going to plan out the lettering, and that's gonna be the hardest part because I don't want to draw on it with graphite or anything because I don't want to mess up the underlayer that I have going. We're just gonna wing it, dude. We're just gonna wing it. So let's keep going. Okay, so it's officially 1:15. Fred has been asleep for a good 4 hours, and I finally finished my lettering. As you can tell, my hands are too tired to hold this up. I'm gonna go to bed, because that seems like a good idea, and tomorrow I'll come back, tomorrow at a reasonable hour, I'll come back. Good morning. I'm wearing the same thing that I was wearing last night. They're called pajamas, and let's get to work. Okay, so I have completed all of my base painting, but it is kind of boring. So I think I'm gonna go in with some sparkles. I'm gonna use some self-leveling paste. I'm gonna mix in some like stars and hearts, and then I'm gonna paint them over this before I do my final coat of gel to seal it all in. Dad? Alright, I've officially changed shirts. This one's my favorite. It has a bass on it. And I've finished putting the coating and the sparkles on here. But it's not quite dry yet. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm going to put up a video here of the sparkles. They came out really well. As chaotic as my application was, I really like the way that it turned out. Like a fool, I just filmed the outro of this video without realizing that I didn't make a planchette yet. It is the thing with the sort of eye hole that you use to look at the letters through. That was weird. This one, because the whole theme is cutesy little kid shit, I'm gonna use a shrinky dink to make it. This is a shrinky dink. So I'm gonna cut this and I'm not gonna show you. Shrinky dinks are a fun thing when you're a kid, but as you get older, they're extremely stressful because you can't figure out how much it's gonna shrink. I'm gonna embellish this really quickly with some Sharpies that I scored. Then I'm gonna shrink it, and I'm gonna see if I can put any like sparkles on it or anything. Okay, here's what I've got for the planchette. I realize it's clear, so it's kind of impossible to see. It says Satan, has a little heart, and this was supposed to be a big heart. I'm aware that it looks vaguely pornographic. For that, I deeply apologize. I didn't realize it would come out that way. So let's go shrink this bad boy up and see what happens. There's our little guy, he's so precious. It ended out a little warbly, which again, shrinky dinks. But overall, you know, good size. Once we've got some sparkles on here, some little hot glue feet, then we'll be done. I will definitely be finding glitter in various nooks and crannies until I'm about 63, so that'll be fun. But honestly, I quite like the way it turned out. Here's the final duo. I really like the way it turned out. Holland better like it, cause I do. I've had a fun time making this, though I spent way too long on it, and I went back and looked at some of my footage, and I can see my brain deteriorating. Don't bother the monster in my closet. He's a pretty good guy. I feel like my brain is melting. Don't put your butt up against the window. Fish boy, ow. Little knife to the rescue. If you like this video and want to see more like it, subscribe if you want. And thanks for watching. Bye.